once again, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, I'm Hannah if you're new here, or you already knew that if you're not new here. Anyway, change of scenery. I mentioned it in the last video, but I'm going to mention it again because I don't know which one's going to go up first. If you hear that jingle jangle, that is my little pupper. Her name is Cassie, and she is spoiled rotten. And the last disclaimer that I have for you is that I've started a Patreon, and you obviously don't have to contribute, you don't have to give anything to it, but I do have one. My hair is such a mess. But anyway, I do have one if you want to contribute, because I'm going to use the money to get a new, get a new camera and an actual microphone, because a lot of you have been complaining about the audio quality and the volume level. So I'm going to use whatever money, if I get any money, I'm going to use it to go toward that so that I can make better videos for you guys. But if you're not interested and you don't really care, then just continue watching, and I'm just going to go ahead and thank you for tuning in regardless. So as you can tell from the title, this is about some more funny stories that happened at Walmart, and I'm just going to jump into it because I know you're tired of listening to me talk. I am sorry about the shadows and the weird light in this room. It is like 12 at night and I can't film with natural lighting right now. So the glare isn't as bad, but the lighting is pretty poor. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. So the first story that I have takes place about a month and a half before I quit, or before I transferred and subsequently quit. So I was on one of my favorite registers. It was one of the back registers, and it was toward the end near the alcohol and tobacco aisle. And I was having a really good day because I was next to one of my best friend coworkers and another really good friend coworker. So I was like kind of sandwiched. Like, here's me, and here's me, I'm in the back, and here's my good friend coworker. And then on the alcohol and tobacco aisle was my like best friend coworker. So we were having a really good time in between customers. I was not like having a bad day. I was living my best life that day. I had my makeup on and everything. I was feeling good. So anyway, we're checking people out, we're laughing, we're having a good time, we're goofing. And so we're hanging out and doing all this stuff. And it's almost time for me to clock out. And so my best friend coworker, she's telling me a really funny story. But in the middle of it, she has to go and help a customer. So obviously I wait. And then I get a customer too. So anyway, we finish with our customers, and she comes back to tell me the rest of the story. And she gets so like tickled about it that she like bends over laughing, like she's like fell over laughing, like because she can't hardly tell me it. So anyway, she tells me the story, she finishes up or whatever, and I'm laughing so hard and she's laughing so hard. And so the story, she told me it was whatever, it was really funny, and she went back to her register. So it was like probably 20 minutes before I got off work. And my friend coworker, who was at the register in front of me, she didn't have a customer and the store was pretty empty at this point. So she walked around to my register to talk to me. And while she was standing over there, she was like, saw something on the ground, and I saw her make a weird face. And she was like, "What the heck is that?" And I'm like, "What?" And she said, "Oh my God, is that a snake?" And I was like, "What?" So I go around and I'm looking at the thing that's on the floor, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm not really sure. And so my best friend coworker sees what's going on, and she comes back there. She had her hair in braids, and it was one of her braids that fell out because she needed to go get like new braids or whatever. I don't really know how all that works, but I died laughing because it was literally like this long, and it was like she had like the black ones and the red ones, and it was one of like the black ones and a little bitty tiny red one, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I felt really bad because because it was a piece of her braid that goes in her head. And I mean, she snatched it up off the floor and like put it back in her head. And I was like, oh my God, girl. It was so, so funny. Like, no shade or anything. No shade, no hate, no tea, nothing. But like, it was hilarious. But she had been talking about earlier in the day how she needed to go and get her hair redone, get new braids or whatever. So I thought that that was hilarious. And she thought it was pretty funny too. She was embarrassed for a minute, but she laughed it off. She's like really good at laughing at herself. But yeah, that was really funny. Okay, so our next story also takes place on a day where I was living my best life. I was feeling good, had my face on, I was like cute. Like, people were asking me all day, like my friends that I worked with, my coworkers, they were asking me like, girl, what makeup did you use? Like, what products did you use? They were like, your makeup is so good. Can you do my makeup? Yada, 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 which is like so weird because I don't think I'm that good at makeup. Like, I love makeup, but I don't think I'm like guru status or whatever. But apparently my makeup was really good that day and everybody loved it. And so everybody was complimenting me. They were like, oh my God, are you going on a date later or something? And I was like, no girl, because I was very single at the time. But anyway, so anyway, I'm checking people out. I'm on alcohol and tobacco, which doesn't really make that much of a difference for the story, but still. So anyway, so I'm going along my day and this man comes up, and he's like an older man, but he's not like old, but he's like a little bit more than middle-aged, I would say. And so he comes to the register and he's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like talking to him, having a friendly conversation, and he's like, you look really pretty. And I was like, thank you so much. And so I check him out and everything, and at the very end he slides me a $20 bill, and I'm like, you don't owe me any more money. And he's like, no, that's just for looking that good. And I was like, sir, what the heck? And he's like setting it on the thing where like you put your checkbook and write it down, and he just sits it there. And I'm like, no sir, we can't accept tips or anything. Like, I'm sorry, we can't accept that. And he's just like walking away now, and he's just like, he didn't do that, but he looked at me and he went, and I was like, what? And he like left the money. Like, I didn't know what to do because I was like, no, I can't take this, and he just left it. So I didn't know what to do. So I called over my CSM because like you can get fired if you take like tips or anything. And so I called my CSM over, and she was like the coolest CSM ever that like we had. And so she came over, and I was like, hey, this is what happened. And I told her, and she was like, she picked it up and she took my hand and she like put it in my vest pocket, and she was like, he forced it on you, wink wink, just take the money. She's like, he left it, there's not anything else that you can do, so like you might as well take it, but don't tell anybody. That's why she looked at it and like put it in my pocket with her hand, so it was like not sketch on the camera, I guess. I don't know, but that was really cool. So I got a $20 tip and a really good laugh because like my family thought that that was hilarious when I told them at lunchtime. So yeah, that was pretty funny. I've never had that happen aside from that one occasion, and I just don't know what to think about it. So the very last funny story, it's not like super funny, but it's kind of funny. I laughed. So when you go on break and you work at Walmart, basically the way that you show that you're on your break is that you unzip your vest and you kind of like flip your name tag over or whatever. Some people didn't bother to flip their name tag. I usually didn't, but I always unzipped the vest. I never took it off though, just because like your breaks are paid and it's only 15 minutes, so you know. So anyway, this was like right before I moved to my apartment. So on my breaks, I would usually go and shop for like kitchen stuff because kitchen stuff is my favorite. I love like buying kitchenware. So I would usually go over and like look at the plates and the dish sets and stuff. So that's what I was doing this particular day. I was in housewares and I was looking and I was picking out a couple of things to buy because you can buy things on your break. So I was, you know, looking and picking through stuff, And this lady comes up to me and she's like, hey ma'am, I need you to come to Sporting Goods and help me with something. And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on my break. And she's like, well, you're still wearing your vest and your name tag. And I'm like, yes ma'am, we don't take them off, they're paid breaks. Like, we just unzip them to show that we're on a break. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get somebody to help you because I'm on my break right now and, you know, I'm doing something. And she's just like, well, that's crazy unprofessional. I don't see why you would keep your vest on if you're on a break. And I'm just like, well, that's just the way that we do it. That's what the managers tell us to do. Like, I don't know. Why am I wasting my time sitting here talking to you? I'm on my break. I didn't say that part, but that's what I was thinking. So anyway, she's like, and she like huffs and puffs away. And so later on, like as I'm going to check out my stuff that I'm getting on my break, so like at that point, I'm walking to the self-checkout because I always went through self-checkout. I know it makes cashiers obsolete, but it's super fast, so whatever. So anyway, I see that same lady talking to my CSM, and she's like, that girl over there, that's the one that was on her break and she wouldn't help me. And my manager's like, yeah, she was on her break. She doesn't have to help you when she's on her break. Breaks are mandatory. We cannot make someone work on their break. She told you she was on her break. What do you want me to do about it? And she's like, well, that's just unacceptable and you need to do something and yada, yada, yada. Like, she was standing really close to self-checkout because the CSM was like right across from self-checkout. So I could hear this happening. And she's just like, you need to do something about that girl because she wouldn't help me while she was on her break. And she's like, ma'am, she was on her break. I feel like I'm on Friends. We were on a break. Like, what do you not understand about a break? Like, I don't have to help you. I'm on my break. Go away. And she had like that can I speak to the manager haircut. Like, she was just awful. She was, bleh. I hate people like that. It was like annoying at the time, but it was hilarious when I told my family about it. Like, they laughed. They're like, how self-centered do you have to be to think that everything revolves around you, no matter if somebody's on a break, if somebody's clocked out, whatever, they need to help you. Yeah, right. Get over yourself. Some people are so ridiculous. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!